about fellow Democrats. But I also want us to be clear what's happening here. An atmosphere of hate has been developing in this country over the last few years. A lot of it is emanating from Washington, and it's having an effect on all of us.
Wait, so you're saying you're blaming the president by saying it's coming from Washington?
I'm saying, but we have to be clear. We need a different tone starting in Washington, which we had, by the way, with Democrats and Republicans both in the White House, that encouraged this country to actually find some unity and some common ground. We haven't had that for the last few years.
Let's talk about your record. There's something specific going on here. With the 8 attacks I mentioned around New York City, several of the suspects arrested in these anti-Semitic attacks have all been released on bail because of something that's called bail reform. But your administration is already implementing it, even though it's not really starting until January. If the victim, in this case Jewish, but it could be anybody in the city, is not, quote unquote, injured, they can be released out in the neighborhood. And one of those folks, Tiffany Harris, 21 charges of menacing, harassment, and attempted assault charges. She punched and cursed 3 Orthodox women, as you know. She allegedly shouted, "F you Jews." She was released. Her court date is not until January 10th. Mr. Mayor, how do you defend that?
This is exactly the same system that has existed for years and years. There's a whole attempt here, no, not directed at you, but in the discourse.
But the facts of that are true.
I'm going to stake you to that. I don't know every single fact about that case, but let's be clear about this. Traditionally, people go before a judge. If a judge gives them a bail figure and they make bail, they're out on the street. That's a huge percentage of people historically. So let's not kid ourselves here. The folks who ended up being held in on that kind of offense couldn't make bail because they didn't have the money to do it. The ones who had money got back on the street. That's part of the American system. We should not kid ourselves here and act like the state's decision on bail reform. It was not my administration. It was the state of New York.
But I'm told that your administration is now implementing it. This New York Post said
this is already happening because it's starting on January 1st.
So why is she